Hello,
Hello
everyone. I'm
everyone.
Saleha, and this is Chai Chat and Community. Joining me tonight, all the way from Bombay, I can't call it Mumbai somehow, is Arif Zakaria. Are you guys excited? Because I know I am. And so if I stutter in between, apologies. Hello, Arif, and thank you very much.
No, good. Glad. I hope all is good, and I'm glad to be a part of Chai Chat and community. Though it's a late night show, I don't know why you call it Chai. It's three
Because
o'clock.
I have chai at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, that is why. I thought it's like a little misleading at eight
We
in the
hang
evening.
around after dinner, yes.
Okay, good.
So, Arif, for all the youngsters who are watching, and I can see people are watching, I already have comments coming in. I will show it to you after
Yeah.
we've just started. Tell us something about yourself that people don't know.
Oh, no, that's okay. I
Otherwise, Wikipedia is there.
yeah. I mean, I was going to say in today's very transparent times, there is nothing that one doesn't know of each other. So I've lived in Mumbai and been in the profession fortunately for a long time. I was lucky. I'm one of those who followed their hobbies and passions, which converted into a full scale profession. And that's how the journey has been through its ups and downs, and still going on, trying to make sense of it all and trying to be relevant as much as I can. So, in a nutshell, that is what it is. And there's nothing which about me which people perhaps don't know, and there's nothing which I've hidden from people which I need to really reveal right now. I would say,
So, like I said to you, there are no questions. We are just going to chat. So, I'm going to start showing some comments coming in.
yeah, whatever, chat, please. Show me.
Hello, Fukran.
Yeah, hi, Furkan.
And there's Smita who's watching.
Smita Kundu, yeah, hi, Smita, how are you?
Um, what gets you up from bed every morning, Arif?
A good game of tennis.
Of course.
Then,
And you have that in about an hour, the finals? I'm not
about an
watching.
hour and a half. Yeah, so I'm in a deep state of mourning because my favorite Rafael Nadal lost yesterday. So that's why I'm wearing black. No, I'm just kidding. So,
Yeah, which is why I'm not watching the finals. Not
no,
interested
you should watch
anymore.
it. So what gets me off bed? Just the challenge of the day, a bout of tennis in the morning, and just enjoying the process actually of life. Really, nothing beyond that. The last year and a half of this lockdown, um, all of us have got within and connected with ourselves and tried to make sense of who we are and how we connect and relate to people. So I think associations are very important, and reaching out to people, trying to help people in a small way is also a large part of the daily agenda right now. Of course, your own self-preservation comes at the top of the heap. So all these little things motivate me, and I hopefully get out of bed in the morning.
Okay. So here's a friend of mine from Melbourne who's watching. Hello, Rintu. So this is Sharmita. She does a lot of plays and she's a very, very good singer.
Oh, watched
And
Ahan and liked it very well. Yes, thank you. Ahan was good. It resonated and connected, and we've got a tremendous feedback from all over the world who've watched it. And the story worked at all levels, I would say. And it was a very tough shoot because we actually had a boy with Down syndrome playing his own life to a large extent on screen. So I'm glad it worked, and I'm glad people liked it, and our whole process with the film was effective enough. So it's good.
and here's Ankita
Ankita Belgayan, she's sending some emojis with. Okay, yeah, sweet,
with
very sweet.
lots of love.
I'm sending my love back to her.
um, yes, I think Ahan. Okay, and here is Radio Bowl. Radio Bowl is a Pakistani uh, radio channel run by the gorgeous Samin Iqbal, and she says she is your biggest fan.
Thank you, Samin. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. And I've visited Lahore and Karachi, and it's beautiful. I'm always look forward to visiting these cities. I performed in a play in Lahore, 6, 7 years back. So it was a good experience. And the people are very warm, friendly, kind. So it's always good. It's always good.
And Ankita says hello.
Yes, hi.
Um, and Samin says thank you. So Samin's watching. And
Yes.
okay, Ankita says she's just reciprocating my expressions. I don't know what my expressions are. Um, what has been your best role? And so till date.
So there's no one big role or one particular role which I recall vividly. I mean, there were 4 or 5 major experiences as an actor in my life, which I truly cherish, if I can use that word, as
Yes.
opposed to saying that there's one particular role. Because this profession is a lot about people and how people react and trust you with whatever they want to trust. So I think earlier on television, I started my career with a show called Chunauti, which still resonates and it's very close to my heart because it was the first debut uh, venture or gig of mine, and I did that when I was a student. So that resonates, and I recall that very, very vividly. Then, of course, I had my journey on television. Then I had my debut film Darmiyan with Kalpana Lajmi, who passed away
Oh, I
sadly.
want to ask about that.
Yeah,
Yes. So,
so that the process was very, very memorable, and it was an eye opener and very educating also as an artist and as an actor. Then again, Dance Like a Man was good. Then I did Nanak Shah Fakir a few years ago. The incredible story of Bhai Mardana. And through the eyes of Bhai Mardana, we showed the whole journey of Baba Nanak. And the way it was shot, the way it was conceived, and the way we all worked hard to make that film is very memorable. Then Ahan also, to a large extent, is very memorable because of the uniqueness of the subject and the uniqueness of working with an actor who actually had Down syndrome and just working with him on a day-to-day basis. Then a lot of experiences. Haunted, I did with Vikram Bhatt, my first horror film shot on 3D. So that process and the whole journey, we shot it in Uti, was very unique and very memorable. So the business is when people say, "What's your favorite role?" It also is talks about who your favorite people are and the legacy each project leaves behind for us to linger on. That's the sad part. Also, Merchants of Bollywood, I mentioned it. I've traveled to
yes.
Australia many times with that production. It's an Australian production. That is perhaps also the most memorable venture of my life because it gave me the opportunity to see the entire world. We traveled with the show all over the world. We opened in Sydney um, and then came to Melbourne at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre first. And there's another cultural centre at the right of your Flinders Station, beautiful complex where just across the
Princess
bridge.
Theatre.
Yeah, that's where we performed for almost a month in Melbourne. Then again, we came to Melbourne thrice at Her Majesty's, the theatre. So I have fond memories of performing all over Australia with this show also, which again is very memorable. Coming answering your question as to what the memorable roles were, because I've done multiple roles in that production too, and it's my whole fond memories of traveling in Australia. Gold Coast, we performed with the show for 7 months. I stayed there and traveled all around Gold Coast, hiring a car on Mondays when we had the day off.
The day of.
I could
Yep.
go. Yeah, so it was all. It's all. So acting is like a cumulative experience of all that: the role, the people, the process, and the entire journey. Really, if I have to sum it up. So nothing stands out, but everything stands out in its small little way.
Thank you. Here is Smita. She
Yes,
loves
Razi
your.
again. Yes, Meghna Gulzar's Razi. The film also clicked. She casted me.
Yes.
It was a very tricky part, and the way she handled the part and the way it came out in the end, and the film also worked at so many levels. So that also is another cherished experience of my career, Razi.
I don't know how we are going to chat. We hello Ranjan. This is a friend of mine.
Yes, I understand.
Um,
So the Sydney Harbour Bridge behind in the photograph. Yes.
yes, except he's in Melbourne. He lives in
Exactly.
Melbourne. Um, so After you said yes to coming to Chai Chat and Community, I watched Darmian, and it was amazing. So, and you said to me you were very, very young at that time. So, when you do
Yeah.
roles like, Imi in Darmian, and you do Aussie in Ahan, how do you get into the roles? Do you watch people? Do you live their lives before you start an
You know,
acting? Or
it's a combination of all. You're blessed to live in this bludgeoning megapolis called Bombay, which has so many characters. So you have just about everybody in the world you'll meet on the streets of Bombay if you hang around for a long period of time. So you meet people from all sections of society. You meet all kinds of people. You meet people with different issues and hardships. You meet people who toil very hard for their living. You meet a lot of affluent people because that's the hierarchy in the society in Mumbai. So when you get a role like that, you just have to shut your eyes and some name or some individual will crop up who you've met with, who you've interacted with, and then you assimilate all those experiences and you try and make sense of it with the material in hand. So I don't know what people ask me, what's your process? I have no process. Then it also depends a lot on the vision of the director, the capacity of the director to put that material out there in a very unique way. That's very important because I think actor is just one spoke in the entire wheel. But the way the director conceives it, the way the director shoots it, the way it places your character in context with the other character. So it's a combination of a lot of factors. So movie making is just very collaborative. It's just not one individual's hard work, perhaps, or one individual's ability to carry a message. So
so
how do I
it's
prepare for
teamwork.
that?
Yes.
There was a man with Down syndrome living down my road. I
Wow.
had, yeah, I used to see him all my life. And then when I got a Han, I slowed the car down whenever I passed by him, and I didn't have a conversation with him. But you see a lot of Down syndrome people around Mumbai city. They have special cafes where they work. But with Ahan, I didn't do any such research because I was playing a part of an OCD man, and I think every human
Is
being
that
has.
you in real life?
Everybody is like that. I mean, all habits and quirks which we accumulate over a period of time. It could be having chai at 8 o'clock, or some people like to read a newspaper on the loo in the morning. Some people want that double shot of coffee in the morning. Some people do all kinds of activities which now masquerade as normal. But
Yep.
if you look back, you think they're nothing but OCDs or quirks. You can live without them. My point is, you can live without all those activities, but you inculcate them and do them with alarming regularity, which essentially is nothing but a slight OCD-ish behavior.
Yeah.
So
It's
all of us
compulsive.
are,
It's like me having coffee at 9 o'clock in the morning, every morning.
there you go. Now, it's not a norm. Your body perhaps doesn't need it. It's
No.
not in any religious scripture. It's not in the constitution of your country, but you have it. So that, I think, to a large extent, is an OCD in a way. So I had to just harness that, which I think I had, and try to make sense of it. And then, as I told you, just try and incorporate it at that moment, in that scene, on that day.
Um, Ankita says, you scared us in Haunted. Oh, okay.
Yes, Haunted also worked. I was skeptical as to how Haunted will eventually turn out, but I just followed the director Vikram Bhatt's instructions, and it was my first full-fledged negative role, or a role with negative connotations. And we shot it in 3D, so it's a technically challenging process to shoot with multiple cameras. And I think it worked because the way he presented the story, the music worked. The story of that girl who's haunted by this professor who she kills because he makes a move on her one fine day in a class. So I think all of that worked. And Haunted, I realized, is such an underground cult movie. Even now, I get a lot of messages from people all over the world who recall Haunted. At that point of time, I didn't think it would be such a big film, but it's apparently resonated with a lot of people who are fans of the horror genre. So I'm glad it worked, and it still works. People still watch it somewhere, and I get messages regularly.
Okay, so Ankita has something else to say to you. She said you are the Voldemort for
Voldemort
Bollywood.
of Bollywood. One must not be. Yeah, they say I look like Voldemort. No, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I hope it doesn't put her off all South Indian men subsequently. Yeah.
She's in UP. I think she's in Jhansi, if I remember correctly, unless she's
Okay.
come back to Delhi. Hi, Hardeep, sir.
Amazing work done by you. Always love all your. Yeah, thank you, Ardeep. Thank you very much. I try my best and I try to be as, what do I say,
Natural?
interesting as possible.
Okay.
Really.
Um, this is something. I asked a question before we kind of came live on this chat to all my friends. Leela, very very dark movie, very
Yeah.
dark. A lot of my friends said after the first episode they couldn't watch it. Is that what the country is becoming? Ethnic religious cleansing
No,
and the
I
role
wouldn't.
that you play?
I I wouldn't expand the perimeter of the subject matter to as if it's resonating actually around us. At any given point of time, there will be disharmony in society. There will be a certain amount of angst amongst the people. So it's nothing to do with that. It was just a story which somehow made a little sense with actually what was happening then. This is about 2 years ago, or a year ago. I think Leela came out in
I think
2019.
2019, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
2 years ago.
2019.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was the conscious effort of any of the material and Deepa Mehta who directed it to make something which resembles or which resonates with the time happening outside. It was just a sheer overlap of coincidences, I think, which made it look like it was very topical. But it was effective in what it told. If it offended a few people, I don't know. People take themselves too seriously nowadays, I think, in India with everything. You write something which doesn't appeal to you, you shut the book. You don't want to watch, if you're watching a film which doesn't appeal to you, switch the channel. It's very easy. Don't go out and start burning the television. That's my point of view. So it's as simple as that. And it's become very difficult now to express yourself, I think, as an artist all around the world. I think not only India. I would like to expand the periphery of this because everything is now under some hashtag. So what do? It's become like a
So people are
hashtag.
taking it personally.
Yeah, you make something which has a woman shown in a slightly evil way, people will say, hey, you're challenging women's liberation. Okay. You show something which a man dominates a woman, yeah, people will say hashtag misogynist. You make something where a woman is overpowering a man, the men have a problem. So it's a complicated world because of all these hashtags now. You can't be really free to express what you want. And I think artists, like maybe even you're an artist, if you write something, if you make a film on something, if you write a book on something, you should be able to write on what you want. If I, as a viewer, am offended by a book, I don't buy it, I shut it. It's as simple as that. I don't need to come to your house and throw stones at you. I don't need to challenge your process as to why you wrote the book in the first place. It doesn't make sense. I
So
think social
talking of
media,
yes.
well, I think so. This is what I feel all the time. I mean, you make anything and people will start trolling you for some aspect of that material which they find uncomfortable.
Offensive.
Yeah.
Yes. And talking about this, the Titan ad about the Muslim mother-in-law and the Hindu daughter-in-law
Yes.
that was pulled down. So one of the I'm sure you know SBS. So SBS interviewed me, and so my mom's Hindu, my dad's Muslim. I don't go by any religion. I'm married to a Sikh. And so I was the perfect person for, I suppose, for them to interview me. And then this was shared in all the groups in Melbourne. And people were actually telling me how unhappy I am because how dare I marry somebody else? How would I know whether my mother was happy or not? And it was crazy. It was like people just went on and on. So, yes, people just get offended for little things. And people were actually messaging me, private messaging me on social media saying how wrong I am. And it was terrible. I had to block people and get off social media for a while. And I'm just an ordinary person, I'm nothing.
That's what it
So,
is. See, there you go. And I think it's the flip side of social media that everybody has an opinion, which is fine, but everybody wants to say that what you've done is wrong or incorrect.
Yep.
And I just think it's crazy. It's a very chaotic mind space we all inhabit, and I just hope it doesn't lead to anything more catastrophic than what we already are living through in the entire world. Really, I'm not excluding or including only India because as I said earlier, this is a global phenomenon. Even abroad,
Absolutely.
yeah, you start making value judgments on people. Fair enough. Everybody's see, human beings are full of frailties. They make mistakes all the time as you go about. It's not about anything else. But questioning an act by a person, questioning a social habit, questioning a personal decision or an action taken by, I mean, it doesn't end. Where does it end? So, Leila, coming back to your original question, did ruffle up a few feathers here, but I thought it was unnecessary. I kind of laughed it off all the time. That why are people reacting? And if you don't feel good, just watch something else. There's always the rerun of Friends to watch. That keeps you happy all the time. Who cares? You watch something else. You don't have to watch what I do. If it offends you, and then say, why did I make it? My point is that you could say you don't like it, which is fine, but then don't say, oh, now it has to be off the air because I'm affected as a person or belonging to a religion or a society. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm going to just come back to all the comments that are coming up. Samin says, stay blessed.
Yes,
And
please. Samin, thank you very much. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. I'm glad.
um, okay, Lily wants to know, did you by any chance study in government law college?
Yes, I did law for 1 year in government law college, and I sometimes I feel I should have finished my law degree. Yes, I was in government law college for 1 year. Yes.
Oh, okay. Um, okay.
What you guys did in Chunauti now seems like the web series of today. What do I think of the change? Everything has changed. Technology has changed first and foremost. Making films and content has become very easier. I mean, everybody's a filmmaker now. We all shoot videos on cameras and we post them all the time. So, we're all filmmakers in our own way, churning out content. And subject matters like Chunauti, I think then Chunauti was appreciated because it spoke about some very pertinent issues about the youth. But now, yeah, a lot of TV shows, web serials, and films subsequently have covered the issues which we had in Chunauti. So it's not no longer novel. But then, or for the generation who had watched it then, it was pretty unique. And after that, I did a show for ZTV called Campus, which ran for four
Yes,
years.
I remember campus. I don't remember
Yeah.
Chinati. Yes.
It was made by the same gentleman who actually launched me. I kind of call him my mentor, Sanjeev Bhattacharya, who passed away, Bengali gentleman. So he expanded that whole Chunauti philosophy into campus and gave it a more broader scope because he had a more time there. We had about 200 odd episodes. So we could cover a whole host of gamut of issues, which we couldn't in Chunauti, which was only 25 or 23 odd episodes. It was that tiny in space. So anything pertaining to youth is always relevant, and sometimes if that resonates in the modern OTT shows, it's quite good. Why not? People need to, the youth. We need to see what our youth are doing and get energized from what the young people are doing in today's time. So it's good if Janoti resonates and it resembles something which is coming on air today. I think it's very positive.
Hello, Noreen, and thank you for watching. Noreen's my friend.
I think artists must have creative liberty. I think everybody should have creative liberty. Noreen, if she wants to write an article criticizing anything, she should write it.
I should actually send it to you. She's actually written an article that in the Age not so long ago. In fact, I think last week about how being her how her religion has helped her. Um,
How her religion has helped her.
yes,
She's a Muslim, I think, Chaudhry from
yes,
Bengal.
she is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good. That's good. That's good.
Noreen, born in Pakistan, lived in Middle East, and then grew up in Canada. Worked in California, Noreen, New York, and then now in Melbourne. So Noreen's been all over, and she's one of my very, very good friends.
She's a global ambassador.
Absolutely.
Nice. Salam or dua khair, Arif, your too philosophical in a speech is so open, challenging, and real. Which means I'm not making any sense. बोलते हैं philosophical है बहुत मतलब समझ में नहीं आता. Sorry मैं पता नहीं कैसे लो आपका comment but thank you very much आपने at least कुछ comment तो किया.
um, Darshan's watching.
You are amazing and haunted. What advice would you give those who want to make a career in the industry without any connections? Nothing. It is just you just put yourself out every day, and it's you have to have a lot of perseverance and patience. I believe in that. Nothing else. You need to have perseverance and patience, and you need to be happy doing what you're doing. See, that has to be. It's very important, integral. That you should like being in the profession. It's a very brutal profession to a large extent because it's full of disappointments and failures and the reality never meets with your expectation, but you have to persevere, you have to have faith in your ability, and you have to be very positive about it. So I think those are the key ingredients. I would always, and I always tell people who are entering the business anew, that have faith and have a lot of patience and have faith in yourself, and hopefully small doors will open larger doors. That's all.
The other comment is for me. Thank you, Salma. Here's one.
You are excellent motivational practical speaker. Jazakallah. Ha, shukriya, Salma. Very, very good. I'm hoping to become a motivational speaker. Saleh calls me to Melbourne to give a motivational speech. I'm happy to come.
Okay, whenever you're here, whenever borders open, I have offered you different kinds of food what I can cook
And I
and
love
not
Australia
cook.
very much. I always look for any excuse. I have a lot of friends in Sydney and Melbourne. Any excuse to come to Australia all the time. In
Good.
fact,
Then we
my
do
school
live at the
friends.
Yara.
Yes, I love the Yara. I've had so many fond memories of Yara running around, the MCG and the Rod Laver Arena. And it was beautiful. Beautiful. I love Australia. I'm happy to come at any time. Just call, I'll come there.
Okay, great. We'll all invite you. Have
Yeah.
you had both your shots?
I've taken the first one. I'm taking the next one
Okay.
next week.
I've
I'll
been
hopefully
we
by 25th, I would have taken both. I've taken the first.
Okay, then you can travel to Australia. Uh,
Who
in
knows? Your government apparently is a little strict, which is good. I keep reading a lot of, but it's good. It's good to have that for the first 6 months or maybe another year. You contain and control a lot of people coming, so it's good.
Yes. Samya's watching.
So
Samya's my
the way
yes.
human beings think or has been empowered.
So
Uh,
I think I should tell you here, you need to be careful how you answer. He's a psychiatrist.
we all need psychiatrists. I think we all,
He's my go-to person. He's constantly helping me out. So
as
yes, he's
that song of Seal goes, "No, we are never going to survive unless we get a little crazy." So I believe in that maxim. No, social media has changed, but I think it's created a lot of. I like to use the phrase a lot of permanent temporary feelings. You are on a high temporarily till the next event captures your imagination, till the next scroll captures your imagination, till the next video you see captures your imagination. So it has made everything very momentary. It's made everything very instinctive and instantaneous. So I don't know whether that's good. I don't know whether youngsters of today who are educating themselves through social media are really getting any great value coming out of it because it's all temporary.
and
So
WhatsApp University.
yeah,
Everybody
WhatsApp
gets their
University.
news from there.
So, yeah, the tragedy is if people go to social media to feel good about themselves, there's a problem there. I think it's like how when we were growing up, you read the newspaper to know what is happening around you. That's it.
Yep.
So as an education tool, it is good. As an awareness tool, it is very good. But if you start, feeling, trying to motivate, uplift yourself through the comments, through the likes, then I think that's
Yes.
a problem because it's a virtual world. It's not real.
And
So
how many likes? Thousands of likes from
yeah,
unknown people you would never meet in your
true.
life.
And 25-30% are fake profiles or whatever. People
Yep.
use it. It's such a powerful tool. Social media as a country, I would say it's like the biggest nation in the world. It's such a powerful tool, but it's just all virtual. It's like a great invisible high you keep getting. So I think you need to inculcate in people the sense of balance. that, it's like any other tool you have in the world. You have to use it for your betterment. You have to use it to enhance your knowledge, your awareness about everything.
And young people don't look up and walk anymore. They're constantly looking down on their phones. Yes, I
I
cannot
know.
understand whether you're on the train or whether you're in the bus or you're walking. I never see a young person just walking or making conversation. They're constantly on their phones. I mean, I must be really old school.
Yeah, they're indoors and on the phone. Nobody wants to go out. I think there'll be
Yep.
a medical, there'll be WHO is going to give a whole medical thing that
Medical term for
no,
this.
but no, vitamin D is not necessary now. It was a fake. People went out in the sun. Now just sit on your phone and it's fine. So it's become as crazy as that. But that's the way it is. I don't know I don't know how you counter that, and I don't know how you blame the present systems, education systems, our social interactions with people, which has made us. I mean, if you don't look at your phone every 30 seconds or 5 minutes, you feel uneasy.
Yep.
There's a certain, disharmony, imbalance in your brain, which starts activating itself. Dopamine, so that's the tragedy with social media. So I don't know. It's there. It's in your face, and it's in our faces nowadays. But how do you strike a balance between not being on the phone all the time and getting your knowledge from somewhere else, whether it's a book or whether you just go out for a walk and chat with somebody? I don't know. It's crazy.
I don't see youngsters reading anymore. I mean, Harry
Nobody
Potter
flies
did
kites anymore.
wonders.
And the true barometer, I was telling a friend of mine, nobody flies kite. We have a kite season here. In the winter, we used to
Yes,
fly
I
kites.
remember. Yes.
It's hard. You'll hardly see one or two kites, and that's the true indicator that people are now on technology. Nobody's out. So it's a barometer, I think. Anyway, this is
Lily
all.
says, "Oh, okay.
I'm a law graduate from government law. Nice. And you were senior to me. You were socially active, so students knew you in the 80s. Uh, I I was not socially active, but as I told you, when I was in my SY BCom, I did Chunoti. I was a student when I did the role, so that became popular amongst all the college students. And I was a little active on theatre in college, so we did a lot of professional, or not well, semi-professional inter-college plays. So as a consequence, I think people who are in the performing arts knew me then. As simple as that. And in law college also, I did a play, Sari Raat, Badal Sarkar's, as a part of the annual theatre festival, where nobody understood the play and they all walked out. The Bengali playwright, Badal Sarkar. So I was a
Okay.
big fan of his when I was a student. I used to read his plays and done a few plays, Julus and Oma, and Sari Raat was one of his philosophical plays. So we did that in Government Law College in my first year.
So
Yeah,
that's how everybody knew you.
no, I mean, those who watch theatre knew me.
I am. I so many comments are coming. I'm like, oh, oh, thank you, Darshan.
Yeah,
I will. Okay.
Deepak Joshi, yeah, you belong to
Hello,
family engaged.
Deepak.
Your father was a politician, your brother is a cousin Farid. Good.
I was going to ask you that, but that was going to be later. Thank you, Deepak, for beating me to it.
So Farid is of course based in New York, so I don't interact much with him except a few, social emails or sadly when I have, because he's an influential guy, when I have a little work, I email him. And my brother stays in the same apartment or building in the same complex. But we don't talk politics. We probably talk sport. We talk on other family matters. We talk on what's happening in our lives at that moment. It could be an activity, it could be a forthcoming trip, so on and so forth. So we don't really sit and discuss the state of affairs with each other like every family does. I'm sure your husband doesn't discuss work with you or vice versa, unless there's something very big or impactful.
18
Which,
months, 24/7 in the same house. Not a very good idea.
there you
Not
go.
when
There you go.
we've been together for 35
So yeah,
years.
so we don't really discuss politics or what we are supposed to discuss as the tags go. But we discuss sport and we discuss experiences and we discuss any travel plan and so on and so forth. Really, it's very simple as that.
Okay, Smita says, Oh, okay.
I've seen you
Well,
in so many places, but your voice and face. I'm glad that's the whole purpose to leave an impression behind. I'm glad somebody has felt like that, so appreciate it.
um, she
Salma,
has
I've been
been through the. Okay.
anchoring and TV series on DD1. Yes, DD1. At first, there was only DD1. I'm a product of DD1. I tell everybody. First 5 6 years,
Yes, I think then we never had all these. Yes.
yeah, I just did TV shows on DD1. So it's good. Why not? DD1 still has the widest reach. Doordarshan still has the widest reach, but unfortunately, they haven't been able to modernize themselves. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made anybody, even Netflix, etc., actually stand if they had a great vision with their broadcasting ability. But yeah, DD1 is always nostalgic for me because that's where I started everything.
Because then there was only DD1. There was nothing else.
Yeah, there was only DD1. About
Yes.
91, 92. Then the private channels came up, and then there was a whole surfeit of these private channels.
Yes. Hardeep wants you to is welcoming you to Australia, to our home for some great food and hospitality. There you
कोई बुला ही
go.
नहीं रहा है यार. I'm waiting to come to Australia. No, I was there. अच्छा, I was
Uh,
there 2 years ago, but in Sydney, I did a play with Sonali Kulkarni, Gardish Mein Tare.
I was going to ask you that too. Thank you.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
we did a show in Sydney in 2019. That was again, we just did 2 shows in Sydney with
Was
this.
it 19 or was it 18?
Was it 18? Yeah, it was 18, I think, 2018.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with Manju Mittal, who organizes a lot of these, crossover Indian shows and all. So we had a good time. And I was going to come in 2019 with another play I did with Zeenat Aman on Gandhi, but unfortunately the lockdown just hit us badly. I was going to perform in Sydney and hopefully Melbourne with this English play which we had opened in Mumbai, where I played Gandhi. It was Dearest Bapu, Love Kasturba. Love letters written by Bapu to Kasturba when they had died, like a fictional
Yeah.
text piece. But unfortunately, we couldn't travel last year. Otherwise, we were going to come to Australia to perform. So I'm looking forward. Salia called me to do some motivational speaking, as one of your guests said.
um, I am just going to go through comments now. Soumya says digital migrants versus digital natives. What
It
does
is,
that
yeah.
mean? Uh, I don't know. Who are the migrants? I mean, the natives would be all the kids who are being born now, and will
Yeah.
are we the
The migrants,
migrants?
migrants are the slow converts to digital technology.
Well, without
And
digitalization, I wouldn't be here. So,
yeah,
I wouldn't
none of
have
us
known
would be there.
Soumya. Yeah, so it has its good and bad.
So I
I
think
met
the
Soumya
millennials
online.
are the digital. We are the digital natives, I think, and the other prototype are the millennials. I would assume that's what she meant. Great to listen to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Mitali. I'm so glad you're watching.
I love Melbourne is my favorite city in the world, as I keep
Oh,
saying.
good. We've
Please
fallen
call
from
me.
grace from number
Please
one to
call
number
me
nine.
January.
That's
I
so sad.
want to visit. No, please time it with the Australian Open. I want to come and watch matches there and get
You
me some
remember,
passes
I'm going as
for
your
final
plus
round.
one, Arif. I'll go out of my way to get tickets for the finals, but only if you say yes to me going as your plus one. Otherwise,
No, but do you watch tennis? Are you a tennis fan?
I'll watch if Nadal is playing. I told you we watched
Please get
Nadal
me.
and Serena Williams one day. Oh my God, that was absolutely amazing.
Please get me tickets for any round, quarterfinals upwards. I'll come, and then I can give a motivational talk. So please tell her that
Okay,
I'm happy to come to Melbourne, but time it with the Australian Open.
so that's February, January, February. Okay, that's what Mitali says. She would love to see your plays in Melbourne. Yes,
Yes, as I
Merchants
mentioned,
of
I've
Bollywood.
performed. Yeah, I've performed Merchants of Bollywood in Melbourne, and I'm looking forward to coming back to Melbourne and doing something. I really love the vibe, and the Indian community is very friendly. I have a lot of friends in Melbourne. I've spent a lot of time there, so it's very good. I always look forward to coming to Australia. Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon.
My son wants to be a movie director. He's 15 years old. Just let him enjoy life. I'll answer this question when he's 21, not
And
now.
when you come to Melbourne?
When I come to Melbourne, he's too young. Just let him have all the experiences he can. That's the basic core of filmmaking. And all the experiences he has, he can one fine day put them on celluloid.
Um, Smita wants you to come to Geelong.
Come to Geelong next time. It's better, and you will not get locked down with a blink of sorry, Melbournians. Geelong is great ocean road, of course. Yeah. I will. Geelong is of course. Why not?
Well,
I'm,
there you go. She will
I'm a
be.
great artist as well. Good, very good. Happy always connecting with co-artists anywhere in the world.
So, movies or theater?
Movies,
Really?
yeah.
Wow, I
Theatre is
would have
very
to.
laborious. It's a lot of hard work, yeah, and it's uh, I don't know. It after a point I get bored doing the same thing again and again and again and again. I don't want to be ungrateful because all my grounding, my work ethic, I think comes from theatre. Because I've done theatre initially. Merchants of Bollywood played a big part in disciplining me as an actor because every day at 6:30 you have to be doing the show, you have to remember your lines, and you have to be there all the time. So it was great. Daily television helps you, theatre helps you, so you develop a great work culture, and I that is because of theatre and television really. But if you ask me between theatre and film, I think film. I
Is it
wouldn't
because
be a, if I hadn't done film. You won't call a theatre artist on Chai Chat and Community. As simple as that. Sad but true.
I have I'm guessing Harsiddhi is watching, and if you're watching Harsiddhi, please say hello. So she does plays in Melbourne, and
Nice.
she's been doing it for the last 3 years.
Nice.
Last year, obviously, because of COVID, she couldn't do anything. So she's done Umrao Jan, she's done
Nice.
Mirabai,
Oh,
and
nice.
this year she plans to do Nohonote. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No, not the Bengali
Yep,
tricks.
yep,
Oh,
yep. So
nice.
she plans to do Nohonote in August. Hopefully, we will open. So if she's here and she loves theater,
You-
um,
It is always a great form of expression and keep doing it. It's so good to build confidence when you do theatre.
here is Neha. Neha runs a group of 10,000 mums in Melbourne or in Australia, I think.
10,000 moms in Australia. Wow.
So would you love to be behind the camera someday?
I produced a children's film.
Yes, you told me that.
And
Yes.
yeah, I had made many years ago, I had directed a few commercials for a production company. So, yes, I mean, I think I have the requisite experience to go behind the camera, and I think I will. Eventually, I will. Eventually, I will.
Is it a lot of hard work
Hard work.
organizing people?
It's so as you said, it's about people. It's about orchestrating and coordinating and collaborating with people. But it should be okay. Being in the business for so long, you have a fair sense of each department which is involved. So it shouldn't be that bad. Hopefully.
Um, Smita wants to know if she can expect you in movies soon.
Yes. So fortunately, I just finished a film a few months ago called 420 IPC, directed by Manish Gupta, who had made Section 365. He was a writer of Sarkar.
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
It was a
yes.
nice, quirky, sweet comedy based in Mumbai. We finished shooting in January just before the lockdown hit us again. It's called 420 IPC. Then I have another web show which I have done called the Socho Project, which is a musical about the music industry. I finished that. And I'm also
So when are
currently
these being released, Arif?
see, I don't know when they're going to release. At some point, hopefully in the future. See, release in our business is very tricky. They have to find the right slot, and in today's time, you find the right platform. And I'm a part of a film done by Rajkumar Santoshi called Gandhi versus Godse. So that is still being shot. We haven't finished it. I mean, I've done my part, but a little bit of work remains, which hopefully we'll shoot towards the end of the month. So these three projects, hopefully, you will see in the next 6, 8 months.
Wow, that's like end of the year to
Yeah,
beginning
but
next
how?
year.
Yeah, but you don't know how it's going to pan out with this. Theaters are shut here. Cinema halls are not open yet. So it's crazy. You can't strategize as to how you release a product which is finished.
So if movie halls and theaters don't open up, are you guys going to do what Salman Khan did? I haven't watched the movie, but
You can't
put
blame
it
them.
in.
I mean, no, but we need to find an outlet. I mean, you don't blame them for a pay-per-view subscription. You have to find ways and means online to reach out to the audience. You can't blame anybody for resorting to any such strategy online because we need to survive. We need to put it out there once
Of
it's made, and
course.
it's expensive. Films are not easy to make. It's a very expensive process, even on a very basic subliminal level. It's cost a lot of money. So you need a certain investment to be recovered, and so you need a platform which has a wide viewership. So I don't know how it's going to pan out. So I don't produce it, so I'm sure the producers work out deals as to how it will release.
Okay, Jeevant wants to know what actors would you like to work with?
Uh, I don't have a wish list, but I prefer working with newcomers because they have a fresh energy. They don't carry any baggage. They don't have a lot of technique with them. So it's always very good to work with newcomers. They are fresher, they're more keen, they're more eager, and they're more spontaneous. So I think I'm more comfortable working with new actors and actresses all the time. I don't have any great old wish list that I want to work with ABC actor, really.
Um, okay, is it?
But you have too many retakes, but theater, you have so many rehearsals. You rehearse for months and months before you put a production on. So I think it balances off. Yeah, both the streams have their own challenges. I'm not denying that. But yeah, I just think cinema, I just enjoy it more, nothing else. And even cinema has its own labor. But I just think the sense of enjoyment is more on film as opposed to theater right now. That's my mood. That's my frame of mind right now. Yes, even I like comedy as a genre. Even I like comedy as a genre. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't have any genre preference. I'm happy to stick to doing serious roles. I'm happy to stick to doing any kind of roles. Really, it doesn't really matter. Genre is a very, it's a bad descriptive word for my profession.
The
You know,
genre part of it?
yeah. Why do you compartmentalize? What genre do you like? It's like me asking you, what do you like to do every day? Some things you like every day, some challenges you like new every day. It's as simple as that. So this genre and all is all journalistic jargons which people keep throwing all the time. So it doesn't matter.
Okay, Jeevant says, my husband is a fan. Can you please say hi to Amrinder? He loves your work
Yes.
and movies.
Hi, Amarinder. How are you, sir? Hope all is good and glad to connect with you on this platform.
Well, here is one. This
She's right. I think you are the perfect face to it. Yeah, so Mr. Benegol approached me to
Sham
play a
Benigal?
novel. Yeah, Sham Benegil. He's making a biopic on Mujibur Rahman, which is still under production. So he had approached me to play Jinnah.
Wow.
I
Noreen.
don't know whether it happens or I'm a little skeptical playing Jinnah. So let's see how it pans out. Why not? I think I should give it a try, isn't it? So many have told me I resemble Jinnah. Many have told me.
Why are you skeptical?
No, I'm not. But I think let's see if it pans out because now
Oh,
shootings have.
okay. The movie pans out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm. Let's see. I might even. Her words might ring true.
And she'll watch it from wherever she is. The problem with us is a lot of these movies don't come to this theaters here.
Why? I think a lot of Indian films come there. You haven't.
Uh, well, a lot of films with the Khans and Karan Johar come, but
The
a
big
lot of
films.
them don't come. And I mean, and it's frustrating at times because there are some very very good movies we kind of miss out because the theater.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a theater really full. It's like, even the best of movies have like, 20 odd people. And now, anyway, I haven't been to the theaters. Jeevan said, thank you very much. You have made her husband's day.
I'm happy to make them bond.
Um, I don't know what TVF means.
What do you think about TV? Yeah, I mean, I've also watched. It's good. Yeah, it's a good platform, and there's a lot of young talents coming in there through. So it's very good. Of course, TVF is very engaging content.
Okay, I've never seen it. So I wanted to ask you about your Gardish Mein Hai Tare when
Hmm.
you played Gurudat, and how was it? It would have been pretty intense, isn't it?
So it was the character was based on Guru Dutt's life, not entirely, but yeah, it was a very intense experience because it was just two actors on stage, me and Sonali Kulkarni, and we had to just and it's a very uniquely devised play actually. It's about a conversation a film director has, which is Guru Dutt, has with the audience and reminisces about his whole life. Uh, and he's kind of died already in the beginning of the play. You realize he shot himself. Then he opens up talking to the audience about his life's journey. Likewise, you have the character of the wife sitting at one end of the stage who talks again, interacts with the audience, and tells you aspects of their marriage through her eyes. So it's a very intense, very unique experience on a stage. I can't even describe it to you. You have to watch it actually. But unfortunately, we only did two shows, I think, in Sydney, and we were planning to come back, but who knows? We might come back again.
Good. I hope you come to Melbourne. I tried
Oh,
looking for for the play on YouTube, and I did get it. But this is the one with Lilith Dubé. It doesn't have you. Oh no,
Gardish
sorry. No, I'm mixing it up with no. I'm mixing it
Dance
up
Like
with
a Man.
another one. That's Dance Like a Man. That's
No, so
Dance Like a
Lilith
Man.
has done the theatre version. What you saw
Yeah,
was
that's what.
theatre shot on film. I've done the film with Shobna.
Oh, you've done the film, so I was looking at the wrong one. You've done the film, and
Look,
she's
I've done
done
the
the
film.
theater.
I've done the film.
Okay, I'll
She's
have a
done
look
the
at the film.
theatre. She still does. It's a very popular play, but she has the theatre rights. And the lady who directed our film, Pamela Rooks, passed away,
Yep.
unfortunately. So I did a film directed by her.
Yeah, so I was doing the wrong search. So I thought this was the theater that you had done, and it
No,
kept coming up with Lilith Dubé. So I was like, no. So it's a film. So I will watch the film. Um, I think we all kind of talked about it. Plans of
good.
coming
Yeah.
to Melbourne.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure and hope to see all of you all live soon.
Thank you for coming, Arif. Enjoy your tennis, and thank you again.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Stay safe. Okay. Bye.